a mic check or?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm all good.
Okay. What do you need me to say?
Say 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah. If you want, you can look at, is it okay if everybody's okay if he looks at Avery or me or?
Okay. Doesn't matter. You tell me where to look. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, this way, straight, yeah.
Okay. Let me look at you because her eyes are right under that camera right there. And that way, yes. So that way it's going to be easier for me to see your face than looking at the TV, at her viewer there.
So
Okay.
Captain, I don't know if anybody wants him to say and spell his name.
Yes, please.
Okay. Captain Phil, Phil, Simpson, Simpson, Tuscaloosa Police Department. I'm the commander of the West Alabama Human Trafficking Task Force.
So 3 local businesses were raided today in Tuscaloosa and Northport. Kind of walk us through what happened.
We've been conducting an investigation into some illicit massage parlors in the city of Tuscaloosa and in Northport for about 18 months or so. And this morning was the culmination of those investigations. And we served the search warrants on 3 businesses and 1 residence this morning.
So altogether, 4 locations.
Yes, sir. 4 locations.
How did you learn about it? Was it a tip or was it other businesses complaining or?
Our first indication was a citizen's complaint. And then we had an incident at one of the massage parlors that also helped start to build a case. But we have had a very difficult time with this investigation. They're very time heavy. And they're very detailed investigations, and it took us a long time to get to this point.
What point in the investigation, any evidence or reports helped you actually get to this point to go, okay, we got them, we can go in now?
We sent undercovers in to all of the different locations over this period of time, and so we were able to show a pattern of conduct. We also continued to get citizen complaints throughout that time. We got complaints from other businesses in the area and in the areas around these businesses, and so we were able to build a case against all of them simultaneously because we didn't want to do them piecemeal and lose part of the criminal enterprise. We wanted to take it all down at one time.
With the investigation, did you guys find that any minors were involved?
We have not found any minors involved at all, and there was never, there has not been any reports of minors involved in this.
Roughly how many people have been arrested at this point?
Only 1 person has been arrested at this point. We're still working to determine who is a victim of human trafficking and who is not a victim of human trafficking.
The person that was arrested, does that person work at one of the parlors?
That person is the owner of the 3 parlors.
Okay, one person owns all 3.
1 person owns all 3. That person and a partner.
Do they live at the residence as well that's connected or?
Yes, they do live at that residence.
When you guys say, Brian,
Sorry.
you've been waiting a while, go ahead.
No, again, I know it's early. 1 person has been arrested, but based on what you know at this point, do you anticipate additional arrests by tomorrow morning, far more than what you have now?
It's a possibility. Part of the difficulty with this is determining who really is a victim of human trafficking and who is not a victim of human trafficking. And that is often not apparent to begin with. And so that's why our partners with HSI and with the FBI are here working with us to help determine who is being trafficked and who's not being trafficked. We also have victims advocates from Trafficking Hope here with us, helping us. And so I can't promise you there'll be more by tomorrow morning. I don't know that because I don't know how many of these other people that we have in custody at this moment are actually victims or are commercial sex workers.
You said that you guys received tips from people in neighboring businesses, but have you guys made the distinction of what was trafficking and what was prostitution with this investigation?
Okay, so it all kind of flows together, okay? You can have 2 kinds of trafficking that we mainly work with here in the Trafficking Task Force, and that is trafficking for sex or trafficking for labor. Sometimes those coincide, but sometimes they're completely different. And so are they being trafficked for labor, or are they being trafficked for sexual acts? Is it a little bit of both? Or are they not a trafficking victim? This is what they do. And so it can be very time consuming, and it requires us looking at their documentation, looking at their work history. Where did they come from? How did they get here? And that's one of the things that our federal partners help us with is where did they come from? How did they get here? What is their actual legal documentation and their immigrant status? Who's holding those documents? Who's holding their money? How much are they being paid for their services, et cetera? It's not just a cut and dried A, B, C, D, this is a victim, or they're a suspect.
When it comes to making the more arrests that you said you guys will make, besides the owner, have any of the other employees been arrested, or will they be arrested?
They're in custody, but we don't know yet if they will be arrested or not. Some will have ICE detainers, but we don't know if they will be arrested other than the ICE detainer.
You said as well that HSI was here working with you guys and also made a point too about, where some of these workers are coming from. Have you guys identified that out yet? Why was HSI here, and how were these people brought into this situation?
We haven't identified as far as how they got here. However, HSI has access to be able to verify documents of immigrants, and also they have a very good network of linguists. And so I don't speak Mandarin or any other of the Chinese dialects, and so they're providing the linguist services or interpreter services for us, as well as helping us differentiate between what are legitimate documents, what are legitimate IDs, and what are fake.
So far then, is everyone that you guys have encountered during this operation an immigrant of the United States, or is anyone here a legal citizen, someone taken off the street? I think that's what we think about when we think of human trafficking. Some little 12-year-old girl gets into a van taken away. I mean, what are we talking about in terms of the people?
Okay, we're talking all about adults. We are talking all immigrants of some kind. Some have documentation, some have expired documentation. And so it's working through, again, that maze as well to determine what their status is. We don't have any indication that any of them were, brought in as minors for this. But right now, we're having to, it's slowed down by the need for the linguists for us to be able to speak with these people with their limited command of the English language.
So this could potentially be much bigger than a sex issue, as far as
Yes.
illegal immigration and all that.
Yes, it could be illegal immigration, it could be human smuggling, it could be trafficking for labor, it could be trafficking for sex, it could be tied to other organizations, and that's what we're trying to determine is this group a part of another group, and this is just where they set up in Tuscaloosa.
Just to follow up on that, can you answer whether or not all of the operations were illegal trafficking and prostitution, or just some of it, and it was just a mixture that they just got caught up in?
They were providing massages to some people that were completely legal. That is where we got some of our complaints from. But some of the services that they offered were sexual in nature.
So some of the complaints that you got, were they from people patroning the business?
Yes, we did get complaints from people who patroned the business and felt like what was going on or what was happening or what happened to them was inappropriate.
I know you guys raided the residence to the owner's house, you said. Was this also a holding location for any of these workers? Were they able to leave and go about their day-to-day life, go to their own home or apartment or car, or were they confined to a specific location at all times?
We had people who were living in all of these three locations. These are storefronts. They can't, by city code, you cannot, in the city of Tuscaloosa, use a massage parlor to bunk anyone or to house anyone. And so that's a violation of the city code right there. The residents did have more beds and small rooms in it. However, none of them looked to be confining. And we do, in some of our surveillance, see where the workers do leave and go to other stores and then walk back to there. So the thing to remember with human trafficking is it's not all what you see in the media where it's chains and it's physical confinement and constraint. A lot of it is coercion. You talk about somebody who is in a very closed cultural situation where they have no knowledge of or very little knowledge of our culture. They don't have their access to their documentation, and they know that if they step out from their trafficker, they're going to be alone. And so that's where we have to prove the coercion, because sometimes people look at it and go, well, they're free to walk away. You know, they can't be trafficking because they were free to walk away. Well, there's cultural constraints and there's trauma bonding that keeps them from walking away. And so breaking down their barriers, getting them to trust us, which is very difficult, is what allows us to determine, are they a trafficking victim or are they not a trafficking victim?
You have one person arrested, but what's the total number of people that you currently have in custody that you're trying to decipher who's what and that sort of thing? Just, even though some of them may be let go.
There's about 9 people in custody currently.
And what message would you give to the public today? Obviously, you guys worked very hard on this for 18 months. What do you tell the public?
This is a criminal enterprise. They were in business for one thing and one thing only, and that was to give non-legitimate massages. And the people who have called us and talked to us, they knew they were in a place that was not legitimate. And so I would tell the public, look for somebody who is a licensed massage therapist. The individual therapist has to have a license. Anytime you see it with all of the windows blocked out or you walk in and there's nothing, a huge indicator is that nobody in the business speaks English or they speak very little English. That would lead you to believe that these people were not trained here in the United States. Training for a massage therapist takes quite a while. It's not an easy certification to get. And the state of Alabama regulates who they can get their certification from. So if nobody speaks English or very little English in the establishment, I would be very careful about using that for a legitimate massage.
I want to clarify something. You said 9 people arrested, so 8 people detained, 1 officially arrested?
Correct.
Okay. How much longer do you anticipate this investigation to take?
We've worked our way through 2 of the 4 locations, so it could take the remainder of the day. There's absolutely no telling because I don't speak Mandarin, and so I have to go off of what the linguist tells us, and so do my investigators. And so it's ask the linguist a question, the linguist asks the person who is detained the question, and then it's got to go back through. So you're talking 3 times, sometimes 4 times the amount of time to conduct an interview that it would normally take.
The one person that has been arrested, what's the official charge?
He is being charged with 4 counts of promoting prostitution in the 2nd degree, which is a Class C felony.
Could you release his name?
His name is Jinping Chin, and he is 70 years old. Stephanie will give you that information in the press release.
Is he the true kind of ringleader of this, or is he working under someone else?
That is to be determined.
I know you say he's an immigrant. Is his document expired? Does he have documentation, or is he going through the process to become an American citizen?
His documentation, the best we can determine at this time, is expired. ICE, HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, they're conducting that portion of it, but what they can tell, he will be put in on an ICE detainer. What they can tell right now is his documents are not current for him to be in the country.
Because of what you do, this is what you guys focus on, the task force. Would you say this is a major hit for y'all, a major victory, if you will?
Yes, because these are blatant prostitution services being offered out in the open. And when you think about the victims of human trafficking, this is what we're trying to prevent. And these people are being victimized every single time somebody goes in there to get a massage. We've done a tremendous amount of surveillance. We have a tremendous amount of tag numbers. We know a lot of the people that are going there on a regular basis.
Will any of those people be arrested?
That is to be determined. That is to be
And
determined.
that's one reason why it took you 18 months, because it's nitty-gritty work. That you
Correct.
Yeah.
It's extremely difficult to prove these cases. And so it has taken a lot of work. There's been multiple investigators assigned to this case in and amongst all the other cases that we're handling at the same time. So it has just been a long-term investigation. Hoover PD helped us out today as well. They just did theirs up there. And before we did our search warrant, we went and talked to them and said, hey, what did you find? How did you do yours? Just trying to share knowledge.
Following up with that, is there a crackdown at the state level that's being mandated that you guys go after these different massage parlors, or is this just coincidence?
No, it's us. We're operating off of citizens' complaints. That's what started our interest in it, or I should say our interest in these locations to determine if they were legitimate or not. And there are a lot of very legitimate massage therapists here in the city of Tuscaloosa. And we are in no way maligning what they do, but they are licensed massage therapists. And in our conversations with several of them asking questions about how does this work, how does that work, how does this work, they're as fired up about it as we are, because this hurts them reputationally as well.
If you had to guess, the folks that you focused on today, how long have they been in business? Or been around?
The location on Skyland Boulevard has been here for a little over 2 years. The location on Hargrove Road, I believe, has been here around a year, and the location in Northport has been there about 2 months.
Any worry or belief that another one could just pop up in a couple of months? And is there anything that either law enforcement or city officials can do to just analyze people a little bit harder before they give over a business license?
The business license structure is designed to bring legitimate businesses into the city. So they can come in and front as a legitimate business and operate as a legitimate business until they get comfortable in the environment, and then they start offering these other services. And so it's very difficult to go, no, you can't come in if we don't have prior knowledge of them somewhere else doing this. And so, yes, it's possible more could come into the city of Tuscaloosa or into Northport or into Tuscaloosa County and set up business. As soon as somebody calls us and says, hey, I don't think this one's legitimate, we're going to start looking at it as well. We don't want that business here in town.
Outside too of just the business that they were offering, which was illegal, did you guys find anything else that they were doing or trafficking? Drugs, money laundering, other things going on either at the private residence or the other businesses that suggest they dabbled in a lot of other criminal activity?
We have not found any narcotics, but the investigation in their finances is continuing.
My last question. One of the businesses nearby one of the locations told me that last year there was a fight between a worker and the owner. Were you guys called into that investigation as well?
Yes, we were.
Can you tell me anything, any of the findings of that particular investigation?
There were some allegations made by the worker, but nothing that we could act on.
What were the allegations?
That they were offering these illicit services, but there was no proof of it. You had one person saying we are, you have the owners going, no, we're not. That's why we're kicking her out. And so we knew we had already had some citizens' complaints, and so it just made us continue to look. But it's that in and of itself did not give us enough to take action against the business.
I have two more questions for you. First question, there was a bomb squad at the location on Skyland that I saw. Just extra hands, or wonder where they brought on?
They have a radar that can see through walls, and so based upon previous what other search warrants have shown on these kinds of businesses, sometimes things are secreted in the walls, and so that's all that they were doing. There was no indication of any kind of explosives. We were simply using them for their radar, their X-ray.
And two of these stores being closed down, is there any belief or anything that you guys have found that suggests there is another business out there that's not massage parlor? Maybe it's a restaurant or a grocery store, convenience store, so that can still remain open to kind of hold their money so they can take that revenue and pop open another massage parlor at a future time?
That is all still under investigation. We are trying to work through that spider web of finances. Right now, we don't have any indication of tying them to any other businesses in Tuscaloosa or Northport or the county, but that does not say that they're not involved in other businesses in other locations.
So this is going to take a while.
Yes, this is going to take another couple of months. And I would like to say that we are going to petition the city of Tuscaloosa and the city of Northport to revoke their business licenses, but right now we can't close them down. So I know citizens are going to be calling me tomorrow going, they opened right back up. Well, hopefully people will realize that that's probably not where they want to go to get a massage, but it's until the city removes their business license, goes through the legal process to remove their business license, that we can actually shut their doors.
Can you guys still kind of have a presence over there? Now, I mean, now that you guys have done the raids, they can open back up tomorrow just to make sure that the thing that they got raided for, they're not continuously doing.
That's going to be very difficult without it becoming a harassment, law enforcement harassment situation. And so it happens inside a business behind closed doors. So how do we prove that they're continuing to do that? We have this history. That's one of the reasons that it's taken so long to do this. We have this history, so we can use this history to get their business licenses, or attempt to get their business licenses revoked by both cities. And that's our ultimate goal here, is to move them out of our community.
One question very quick. What time did you guys start raids this morning?
9 o'clock. We waited until the businesses were open. The reason that we did that was because we knew there were people living inside the businesses, and we waited for them to unlock the doors. Because of the language difficulties, we did not want to try to serve the search warrant before the door was unlocked, and then it turned into a barricaded suspect because they were afraid to open the doors. So it was not something where we, like when we do our other kind of search warrants that human trafficking does, we usually try to do them early in the morning. But with this, we waited specifically until they were open, so we could not have to worry about some frightened immigrant who does not know what's going on inside that won't open the doors, and then we've got to force entry and raise all those other issues.
Were translators with you guys during the raids?
They were waiting until we had the situation secure, and then they immediately went in.
Did the element of surprise work?
Yes, they had no idea we were coming.
The person you arrested, did he resist arrest?
Nobody has resisted.
So he's been cooperative?
Physically, yes, sir.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
Anything else you wanna say about that? Thank you so much for giving us the
All right,
time for
thank
this today.
You're welcome.